Hola amigos y amigas, you are now with Jocelyn, and as always, I'm so grateful you are here. If you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. And if you are new here, welcome. I'm so grateful you aligned to one of my videos. If you enjoy spirituality, lifestyle, journaling, and self-development, then you'll definitely enjoy my channel. So make sure to click subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my weekly videos. Now in this video, I'm really excited because I'm going to be sharing 5 books that I read this summer, and y'all, they are so freaking good. Like, one of them, you have to read it. You have to read it. And most of these books are like in the self-development, spirituality genre. So if you are seeking books that will really have you expanding your conscious awareness and just kind of like diving deeper into yourself, into who you are, into love, into trauma, then you'll definitely enjoy this video and these recommendations. So I'm so excited to get into it. So without further ado, y'all, let's get into these 5 books that I read this summer and that you should definitely read. The first book is The 7 Spiritual Laws of Success by Deepak Chopra. I give this book a 5 out of 5 because it says that it is a practical guide to the fulfillment of your dreams, and it really is a super practical guide to the fulfillment of your dreams, of your true desires, of your soul purpose. And what I really appreciate about this book is that it expands your perspective of what success really is, and it assists you in unlearning the capitalistic definition of what success is, what it looks like, and how to attain success. So if you're someone who is like, bro, this capitalistic definition of success that I have been programmed to learn is not fulfilling me, but what is success really if it's not what I've been taught? So this book is definitely for you if that's where your mindset is kind of at and you kind of want to really learn what true success is that is spiritually and soul filling. And what I really appreciate also about this book is that at the end of each chapter, it gives you affirmations to really practice that specific law. So it gets into 7 laws, right? And the 7 laws are pure potentiality, the law of giving, the law of karma, which is like cause and effect, the law of least effort. So really understanding that you can attain success and a really abundant, successful life through effortlessness. And that is what really is our true nature. We grew up thinking that we have to work really hard to attain success and deplete and exhaust ourselves. But again, this book really assists you in redefining what success looks like. The law of intention and desire, just how powerful your intentions are, and the law of detachment, the law of dharma, or just like your overall purpose in life. So y'all, this book is really good, and it really helps you realize just how powerful your true authentic self is, and how being your most authentic self aligns you to a very successful life. So here are some of my favorite quotables from this book. Success is the ability to fulfill your desires with effortless ease. When we experience the power of the self, there is an absence of fear. There is no compulsion to control and no struggle for approval or external power. You can wish for things in the future to be different, but in this moment, you have to accept things as they are. Both past and future are born in the imagination. Only in the present, which is awareness, is real and eternal. Expressing your talents to fulfill needs creates unlimited wealth and abundance. The second book is All About Love by Bell Hooks. I give this book a 5 out of 5 because it really made the lover in me feel affirmed and feel seen, because I personally felt like I never really aligned with how our society views and defines love. And that's really the main underlying theme of this book, is stressing the importance of acknowledging how we define love. There's a line here in the back that I love that Bell Hooks wrote in this book, and it says, "The word love is most often defined as a noun, yet we would all love better if we used it as a verb." And that is just so true. And that's, I think, the biggest appreciation that I took out of this book, is affirming the fact that love isn't just a noun. Love isn't just something that we feel. Love is a verb. Love is an action. Love is something, like true love is something that we actively choose to participate in daily, in the relationships that we care about, in the relationships that we truly love. We wake up every single day and choose to love, choose to express that love, choose to act from a heart-centered space of love. And it's not just a feeling, because if love, y'all, if love is just a feeling, then love is fleeting. Love just comes and goes. And, you know, feelings are very fleeting. People can wake up every single day and just feel differently. And true love isn't fleeting like that, you know? And I fully agree with Bell Hooks that the way that we choose to define love as a society really, really matters in how our society approaches and engages in relationships. So that's what I really appreciate about this book, is just really feeling affirmed and feeling seen when it comes to what my personal views on love are. So if you are someone who feels like you don't align with how the majority of people in our society kind of like views relationships and engages in relationships, and you want to really understand what real love is, then you'll really appreciate this book. And aside from being an author, Bell Hooks is also a critic, and you can really see that critic nature of Bell Hooks show up in this book, because Bell Hooks is just brutally honest when it comes to love and critiquing love, and how our society and movies and books and all of that has really honestly negatively impacted how we love and how we engage in relationships, and how our societal definitions and programmings on love impact our relationships and the longevity of our relationships. So this is a really great book that's all about love. And I remember reading this and thinking, wow, Bell Hooks really did their research. So if you really want to get into that, if you feel like getting into love and researching on it, but not really researching on it because someone did all the research for you, then this is the book for you. And here are some of my favorite quotables from this book. To know love, we have to tell the truth to ourselves and others. A culture that is dead to love can only be resurrected by spiritual awakening. Genuine love is rarely an emotional space where needs are instantly gratified. To know genuine love, we have to invest time and commitment. Knowing how to be solitary is central to the art of loving. When we can be alone, we can be with others without using them as a means of escape. We sacrifice our old selves in order to be changed by love, and we surrender to the power of the new self. The third book is The Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer. This, my friends, is easily a 6 out of 5 because it is that freaking good. This is a book that I was raving about in the beginning of this video, where I was like, there's one book I read this summer that you have to read. And this, my friends, is that book. You have to have this book in your home and in your hands and digested in your mind, because it is so valuable. Like, this is genuinely a really valuable book, especially if you are someone who is healing and you are someone who is becoming more and more in tune with their spirit. This book, to me, summarized, like in short, is all about self-liberation. This book is about liberating yourself from your past, liberating yourself from your suffering, and liberating yourself from your thoughts. The way that this book starts is a bit existential, but in a great way. It basically gets you to question who you really are, and gets into the fact that you are the observer of your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. You are not the voice in your mind. You are the one that is observing the voice in your mind. And if you are not the voice that's in your head, then who are you? And so that is what this book starts off with. And each chapter just gets better and better and better. And it's just like so good. Like, I feel like you take away something so valuable from each chapter. And I know that a lot of this spiritual content and these concepts can kind of be really hard to grasp, especially as someone who maybe barely kind of be dipping their toes into spirituality and their awakening and all of that. But Michael A. Singer does such a great job at making these spiritual concepts very digestible. So that's one reason why I just really recommend this book, because it is just so approachable and valuable for anyone on any level of their conscious awareness and of their spiritual awakening. What I personally really appreciate about this book, and what I personally really took from it, was how to really navigate this life with radical acceptance, and what it looks like and how to experience this life by surrendering to it, and how that actually really contributes to the journey, and just how miraculous and beautiful surrendering to your life is. I don't know about you, but over the course of the past year, surrendering to life has been such a big theme, and this book just really awakened me to that, to what that really is and what that looks like, and how it really is the way to live. And the other thing that I just really personally appreciate, and what I personally like really took out from this book, is just the practicality of how to heal. Like, Michael A. Singer does such a great job at walking you through how to heal and how to process your emotions, and how important it is to allow energy to flow through you, and how suppressing your emotions is building these stagnancies, these blockages within your energetic field, and how that impacts you, and how it's like holding you back from, again, being liberated. So I could go on and on about this book, and whatever I say is just not going to do it justice, because it is just that good. I mean, Deepak Chopra here says that if you read this book carefully, you will get more than a glimpse of eternity. And it's just a really good book, y'all. I really recommend it. Please read this book. Here are some of my favorite quotables from this book. And really, every line is a quotable, honestly. Do not let anything that happens in life be important enough that you're willing to close your heart over it. When you are unable to allow life's events to pass through you, they stay inside and become a problem. You are free to walk through this world without a problem in your mind. You are just having fun experiencing whatever happens next. The natural ups and downs of life can either generate personal growth or create personal fears. If you are doing something to avoid pain, then pain is running your life. The fourth book is The Surrender Experiment by Michael A. Singer. I give this New York Times bestseller a 5 out of 5. And yes, my friends, every book rating in this video is going to be a 5 out of 5, other than the 6 out of 5 that we just had prior to this book. And this is the same author. So Michael A. Singer wrote The Untethered Soul, and then as he experienced more life and more surrendering, he was led to writing this book. So this book is literally the author's journey of surrendering. He walks you through his life journey and how he truly just surrendered to life. I am personally really committed to surrendering to life myself and to really practicing radical acceptance, just accepting life as it is right now in this moment and not judging it, not taking it personally, just radically accepting life as life shows up. And I really just wanted to learn more about that and how experiencing that way of living ends up unfolding your journey. And Michael A. Singer gives you front row seats to how him practicing radical acceptance and surrendering to his life, like literally surrendering to whatever comes his way, where it got him. And it is absolutely incredible how him surrendering to his life, to life in general, really led him down the most wild, amazing, successful, wealthy life. Like, who would have known, right? He created a thriving spiritual community. He ended up owning more than 600 acres in a forest. He published these New York Times best-selling books. He ended up founding $1 billion public company who is being showcased for its achievements in the Smithsonian Institution. Like, he really did some incredible, incredible things in his life. And it was all just from him surrendering to the flow of life. So if you are someone who is interested in learning how practicing radical acceptance and surrendering to the flow of life looks like and how that actually impacts your journey, then you want to read this book, because Michael A. Singer just kind of guides you through his journey and guides you through his difficult moments, his successful moments, moments where so many of us would have like caved into our fears, and moments where so many of us would have given up or would have just like been like, you know, completely just thrown off. He just surrendered, and he walks you through that and how he did that. And it's a really beautiful book on just a true life story on what happens when you simply let go. So I really recommend this book if you are, like me, someone who wants to surrender to the flow of life and just radically accept life as it is. Here are some of my favorite quotables from this book. What manifests in front of us at any given moment is actually something truly extraordinary. It is the end result of all the forces that have been interacting together for billions of years. How would I ever know what life was capable of doing if I was always in control? My experiment with surrender had taught me to always be present in the current moment and do my best to not allow my personal preferences to make decisions for me. Do whatever is put in front of you with all your heart and soul without regard for personal results. Do the work as though it were given to you by the universe itself, because it was. To be there when a person is soaring high is an easy relationship. To be there during hard times requires deep friendship. The fifth book is It Didn't Start With You by Mark Wolin. So I'm still reading this book, and this is actually my September reading for my book club. Yes, I have a book club. I'll put some information down below and in the description if you would like to join, but this is the September reading. Last month was the Surrender Experiment, and in July it was the Untethered Soul. So if you would like to read some books with me that are all about self-development, spirituality, then definitely join my book club. But this, I'm still reading it, but so far I honestly give it a 5 out of 5. I am about halfway through it, and I have learned so much about how generational trauma, and not even just trauma, but things like depression, anxiety, chronic pain, phobias, and even just our patterns of thinking are passed down through generations. And it's really just letting you know that it didn't start with you, and how we've inherited family trauma and how it shapes who we are and how to end the cycle. So it's such a valuable book in not only understanding how these generational cycles are passed down, which, by the way, something that I really appreciate about this book is that it also provides scientific studies that prove that these cycles and patterns are passed down at least 7 generations before us, and the traumas and our thought patterns and our phobias and all of that, we pass that down at least 7 generations of descendants after us, which is wild, and it's scientifically proven. So I love that this isn't just all conceptual. This is like proven. These are proven studies that Mark Wolin provides us with. But I just love that this book is not only providing us with insight on that, on like how these generational cycles are being passed down, but also how to break them. Like, it really gives such good guidance on how to approach different traumatic experiences in our lives, how to approach the triggers, how to heal them, how just like where to begin. Because I know that this healing journey, especially those of us who have experienced a lot of trauma, it can be daunting, and it can be overwhelming, and it kind of can be like, where do I even begin, you know? And this is just a great guide, and it's just really awakening, and it just like makes you feel better about yourself, honestly, because you realize like, wow, like, whew, I really need to be more graceful towards myself and my healing, because I'm not just healing me. I'm healing the traumas and the obsessive thoughts and the phobias and the experiences of generations before me. Like, it's a lot of work, and I need to be more compassionate towards myself, because again, it didn't start with me. So that's what I just really appreciate about this book so far. And I don't need to finish this book to know that it is a book that I recommend to you and know that it is a 5 out of 5. It's just really good. It honestly isn't that hard to digest. It's pretty digestible, like the other books have been. And I really recommend it, y'all. Here are some of my favorite quotables from this book so far. Sometimes the heart must break in order to open. It didn't matter how my parents could or couldn't love me. What mattered was how I could receive what they had to give. In our fear and anxiety, we often try to control our environment to feel safe. That's because we had so little control when we were small, and there was likely not a safe place for the intense emotions we experienced. Though our old stories can entrap us, once we uncover the deeper stories behind them, they have the power to set us free. Not all behaviors expressed by us actually originate from us. And that, my friends, are 5 books that I read this summer and that I highly, highly recommend to you. Honestly, they are all 5 out of 5s, and they are all enlightening in their own unique ways, and they truly are all approachable and digestible, which I love. So highly recommend all of these books. If you ended up being inspired to invest in one or more of them, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know which ones you ended up choosing to read. And if you've already read some of these, let me know your thoughts in the comments below as well. I'd love to exchange some thoughts with you. And if you have book recommendations of your own that you'd like to share, I would love to know what those book recommendations are. And again, if any of you are interested in joining a community of readers who love to read about spirituality and healing and self-development, please look into joining my book club. We read 1 book per month, and I would really love to have you join my community. We hold each other accountable for reading the books, but it also is just kind of just go at your own pace. I'm always sharing my reflections on the books. So look more into that information below. I hope to see you there, and I'm excited to see you in my next video. If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on any of my future videos and you join this growing community. I love y'all. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.